That radio chick Cheryl Lee here. Welcome to the Still Rocking It podcast, where we'll have music, news reviews and interviews with some of our favourite Australian musicians and artists. Today we catch up with a bit of a legend, a bit of a hero in the music business, in my humble opinion. We are speaking to Greg Donovan, and he is the founder and organiser of two iconic Australian music events. Firstly, the Birdsville Big Red Bash, and coming up very soon, this year's Broken Hill Mundi Mundi Bash. It's from 20 to 22nd of August. It's at Belmont Station on the Mundi Mundi Plains, 9 kilometres north of Silverton, 35 kilometres north of Broken Hill. Aussie music lovers and intrepid travellers from Australia will flock to the biggest event ever staged in Outback Australia, with a 15,000 strong crowd set to attend this year. I wish it was me. Let's find out from the horse's mouth, from humble beginnings to this amazing, amazing event. To catch up on podcasts from other favourite artists, simply go to thatradiochick.com.au. You're with Cheryl Lee, That Radio Chick, and I'd like to welcome into the Zoom room today a little bit of a hero of mine, Greg Donovan. He's the founder and organiser of the iconic event and sister event to the Birdsville Big Red Bash, Mundi Mundi.
Hi, Cheryl Lee. Nice to be with you this morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, I went to my very first, my virgin trip, my only trip to Mundi Mundi in August 24, and it was amazing. Congratulations on such a world-class event. And from me, Greg, I am a five-star traveller. I'm not a camper. If I don't have room service, it's not good. It's not good. And a pool, and cocktails.
Cocktails, of course, yes.
But I had the best fun. You've put on such a well-run and spectacular event, and obviously it's grown and grown and grown over the years. Now, you gave up a perfectly good job to to start this bit of a passion project of yours, didn't you? So do you want to tell us about the very beginnings?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird way that I got into putting these festivals on. It was sort of never part of my life plan or journey at the time. It wasn't something I set out to do, but I was raising funds. My young son Stephen had type 1 diabetes. I've been raising funds, doing fundraising and awareness for that disease, mainly through running events. And we sort of staged these crazy 6-day running events out in the deserts in Birdsville. And the very first year we started these running events, we had John Williamson come along and sing to us up on the Big Red Dune to keep our runners and all of our volunteers for the running event motivated, and that sort of just sparked a little idea that, wow, it's how amazing it is to have live music out in the desert here. It's really cool, and it's probably something more people would like to come and see. So why don't we just try and do something more, make it a little bit of get a few more artists out here and have a bit more and sell some tickets and just see what happens. And that was the humble beginnings. We had a few hundred people at this running event, and then the next year we decided to have a sort of a 2-day music event separate to the running event, and put that on. And look, it's you learn a lot about putting on a festival when you've never been involved in any of that sort of thing before, never been involved in the music industry or anything. So we sort of started learning from scratch how everything works, and sort of suddenly we found out how much all of these things cost to put on, which is a lot. But we learned the hard way, as you do, and lost quite a bit of money going through that process. But decided, well, let's you had the vision by then, and let's just follow it and see where it takes us. And from there, it's just grown crazy. I mean, the next year after that, I was been in the insurance world and in senior positions there, but I happened to be made redundant after 20 years with my employer, and being in my sort of just about in my mid-50s, I didn't want to go back into that world, and decided, well, that's it. That's a sign that this is what I've got to keep doing. So I took all that redundancy money and thought I've got to make this thing big, and went out and blew it all on hiring Jimmy Barnes to come out.
Yeah. So what year was that very first year?
Well, the very first year when we would have our run in John Williamson, that was 2013. That was just a little gig for the runners, really. In 2014, we started off with a 2-day sort of festival with a bunch of, we had great artists back then. And, we had people like James Rain and Daryl Braithwaite and Casey Chambers. But it was really hard to get it started, to get people right out to the back of Birdsville, back and beyond, to come out for a festival. That's when I got made redundant. After that, I'd lost a lot of money. Then I got made redundant. Oh, what do I do? Can put that money in super, but decided to keep going. And then it was 2015. Jimmy Barnes came along for the first time, and that really sort of put us on the map. We got a lot more people out in 2015, and then the word started to spread. And by the time we come around to 2016, and we decided, oh, we'll get Jimmy back out again. He wanted to come out again, and we got Paul Kelly, and it just went crazy. And before we knew it, we'd sold out. So
it was. Sounds like it was meant to be that you got that redundancy and super schmooper, everyone can have super.
Yeah.
You've got a festival. Well, you've got two. Now, were you a music fan? Have you been a music fan throughout your life?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely a big music fan. I like to go to live music and gigs. I mean, I grew up on Sydney's northern beaches back in when I was young, back in the 80s, the pub rock days. And, we just go down to the local pub and we see INXS or Cold Chisel or Midnight Oil or, all of these great bands. And they were just at our local pubs. And
the glory days.
The glory days of pub rock in the 80s. I mean, I feel sorry for the kids nowadays. They don't have that that thing that we grew up with. And, yeah, so I guess, I've always loved live music and rock and roll and Aussie music and all of that. So, but I've never been involved in the industry at all. I've just always been a punter and, been part of that.
Maybe you missed your calling, but you know what? Better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never. Yeah.
Now, so in the last 12 years, it's grown immensely. So you started out with the Big Red Bash. Congratulations, by the way. Last year, that was named Australia's best festival event at the Aussie Tourism Awards. Well done.
Yeah.
And the Mundi Mundi Bash at Broken Hill was a finalist in the category. So
you're
doing something right.
Yeah.
But I guess you've seen a lot of growth and changes over these years. So you're a bit of a sucker for punishment, actually. Like, you're already organising one. So you just thought, one, two.
Who cares? Yeah. Well, it was my full-time job by then, and luckily I've got two of my kids. I won't say they're kids; they're adult children, are now in the business. Steve, my young son with type 1, and also my daughter Laura. They've been sort of working in the business the whole time with us, and so it's great to have sort of that family business way of working. And we just thought after particularly after 2016, where we sold out Big Red Bash for the first time. We knew what we were doing was really different, but it was really popular. And we thought, well, if we're going to build on this, we need to find another venue to also take this sort of model and concept to the people, but in a more accessible way. So all of those people with caravans or motorhomes that don't really want to hit the dirt roads to get the whole way to Birdsville, they can come and enjoy the same sort of festival, the same atmosphere, the same beautiful outback setting, but in a place that's a bit more accessible and easier to get to. And that's where Mundi Mundi came from. We searched around and we looked around and stumbled on Broken Hills and looked out the back of Broken Hills and found these beautiful red dirt plains. Thought, wow, this will be an awesome place to put a festival on, and started talking to the various property owners out there. And it took probably 3 years of work to get that up and going, but that's become really, really successful. And because of accessibility, I think we get more people there now than we do to Big Red Bash.
Well, I think this year you're going to be upward of 15,000. I think it was 14 when we went the 2 years ago. In those 12 years, you've probably seen a lot of changes. Obviously COVID would have been a bit of a challenge. What are the other changes and challenges you might have experienced in the last 12 years?
Yeah, look, it's been an interesting ride, a journey, I'd call it, with all its ups and downs. And COVID obviously had a huge impact on the whole industry. Basically, everything stopped. Live music stopped, events, everything basically stopped. And we were lucky enough to be able to ride that through. We had Big Red Bash. It was sold out by February 2020, the 2020 event. So it was fully sold out. We're ready to go. And all of a sudden, COVID. But, luckily we rolled that over to 2021. Most of the ticket holders, 90% of the ticket holders thought, well, we'll hold on to our tickets. We offered refunds, of course. But, and every time we offered refunds, we resold those tickets and they were snapped up straight away. So we sailed through. I won't say sailed easily, but we went through COVID with a fully sold out festival. It remained sold out the whole way through COVID till we finally got to put it on in 2021. So in a way, COVID for us was a challenge, but it also gave us that year of, well, what are we going to do? And so we thought, well, we don't want to sit around just on JobKeeper or whatever it is, moping, and just like being sad sacks and whatever. So we decided to commit ourselves to actually finalising the development of the Mundi Mundi Bash. So by the time we started to come out of COVID, we'd actually were ready to launch this new festival. And, people thought we were a bit crazy, like this COVID lockdown, nobody can do this festival. What are you doing? Oh, we're just building a new festival. So that's what we did during COVID. But even since then, times have been challenging. It was a bit of a boom after COVID, but then, then it's come back a lot since then. We've seen the Australian festival landscape change a lot. A lot of the iconic larger festivals have fallen by the wayside. You've got your Splendour and your Falls, and Blues Fest has just gone broke, and so it's a challenging landscape. But I guess we've come into it, not as experienced festival organisers, but as an experienced business person, and tried to manage the thing as a business and keep all of our customers happy and make something that people love and people want, and we've been able to do that.
It is so iconic. I think apart from obviously the amazing artists that you get out there, I think you've managed to incorporate so many other exciting events and things to do, and that it has become not just a music festival, but it's beyond a music festival. It's a whole family orientated event, and you can bring your dogs, and you've had some fabulous initiatives that have raised a lot of money for some very, very good charities. I was part of those when I went. So much fun. You've got the world record attempt for the Big Blue Day, which is as many people as possible dressed up in blue in a shape of Australia out there in the desert. Whose idea was that one?
Sort of mine, but with a team, we have a team. We throw around ideas of what we want to do. We wanted to do something for mental health. That's been a part of my journey, and so we wanted to look at ways of giving back to do that. And we wanted to have we thought, well, in the Sydney cricket, they have the Pink Day for the pink test, and they have a pink theme thing. They raise a lot of money for breast cancer and now more cancers more generally. And we thought if we can have Blue Day, we can have that as our day to people to get dressed up and support fundraising for mental health. So, and we thought, we want to break some sort of a world record. What can we do? And the idea was put forward by the Australian Book of Records, who we worked with, to say, why don't you form everybody up into a shape of Australia? And I immediately said, yeah, look, that's a great idea. It's so iconically Australian. And you look at the pictures, the aerial pictures of this great big blue map of Australia on the red dirt, and it's just amazing. And
it is amazing. Can they find the photos at the mundimundibash.com.au?
Yeah, you find those photos there, all on our website. And if anyone if you just Google Big Blue Day, it'll come up with all the images of the Big Blue Day. I've got one on our calendar up on my wall up there at the moment. So
some of the images are, that's it. There's me right there.
Pretty cool.
There I am.
So it's it is an amazing thing, and it raises a lot of money for Beyond Blue, and I think we raised I think 240 odd thousand for them last year in 2025. So we do that, and to us, it's like what we see. All the people coming to the bash, we see it as a big community, and it's a happy place, and people are smiling, and like in the city, there's so much rubbish going on, and all the politics and all. People want to get away from that, and they want to enjoy themselves, let their hair down, meet new people, have fun, be part of a new community. And what we try and do is bring, now the activities is bring people together to be sort of work together, be part of this community, all doing something to raise money for charity. As you know, we do for the last few years, we've done the Nutbush dance world record thing, and that's a lot of fun. People have a great time, and that one raises money for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. We do the Mundi
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 Run.
Run.
Yeah, you get dressed up in whatever you want to get dressed up as.
Yeah.
Well, we did have to ban mankinis. That was that got
One
a bit
step too far.
yeah, one step too far. So we banned the mankini. But apart from that, we have some really cool dress up things. And again, it's just about bringing people together, having fun, having a laugh at each other, having a laugh with each other, and yeah, just being part of that community.
The other thing I really loved being involved in, we did the Mundi Mundi Run. We were all dressed up as ducks and we had our ducks in a row.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
I think about 20 of us. But
Wow.
the other
I
thing I
remember
really
that.
love is the Mad Max procession. We loved dressing and putting our Max on.
Yeah.
Now, but there's a connection there. Where did that one come from?
Well, where we are on the Mundi Mundi Plains actually was the setting for the filming of Mad Max 2 back in 1979, the Mel Gibson original, one of the original Mad Max movies. So filmed right where the setting is. And in fact, even more recently, the last episode or the last installment of the Mad Max sort of genre, Furiosa, that was filmed also on site and where we are, and George Miller and all of his crew that were filming the Broken Hill component of the Furiosa, they actually used our base and our infrastructure and our setup that we've set up for Mundi Mundi Bash to be the base for their film and production crew to film Furiosa. So there's a real connection. It is Mad Max territory out there.
There's a great museum there.
There is in Silverton. There's the Mad Max Museum, so people should visit that. There's a whole lot of great stuff in there, and we've built this. You wouldn't have seen it in 24, but last year we built this massive mining truck with a big stage on top of it, and all in Mad Max theme. So we've got that now. So we incorporate that into a lot of the fun stuff we do for the festival.
Well, my goodness, I have to say to all you non-campers out there, this is worth going. It's worth the long drops. It is just so good. I didn't care that I couldn't wash my hair for a week. Actually, I couldn't take my hat off after a few days. But I encourage everybody, you have to do this once, at least once in your life, and then you'll be like me and plan to want to absolutely do it again. This year, we better talk about this year, Greg. You've got the Teskey brothers, John Stevens, John Butler, Boy and Bear, Baby Animals, Jessica Malboy, the Whitlams, Leo Sayer, Tim Finn, Richard Clapton, Troy Cassadaly, Chocolate Starfish, Furnace and the Fundamentals, Wendy Matthews. Oh, there's like half a dozen more. Get onto the Googleometer and check out the lineup of music that you get over the 3 days.
3 days. Well, it's really 4. Like if you roll in a bit early, we have an early entry night. So we've got Furnace and the Fundamentals on and a couple of other acts to keep people entertained before the main festival starts on the Thursday. But yeah, it's just non-stop music for 4 days. We've only got the one big stage, one big concert area. So find your seat, settle in for the day, and you've got, you're there for 7 or 8 hours and amazing music. And it's just being in that outback environment, just with the landscape that's around you and the sunrises and the sunsets that you get. Oh man, it's incredible. And as you say, you might not be a camper, but you don't have to be a camper. You could you're going to hire a motorhome, and the Hope motorhomes is you've got everything there: your bed, your kitchen, your loo, your shower if you want to shower and that sort of stuff. So there's plenty of ways to do it. You don't have to be someone with a caravan or a tent or whatever. You just hire one of these motorhomes or camper vans and away you go.
Well, you know what, Greg? We hired a Winnebago, 4 of us, and we joined. And we stopped at the last water fuel station to fill up the tanks. And girlfriend put the hose in and then a couple of minutes later it stopped. She said, oh, it's full. Off we went to the, I must say, beautifully laid out city or town. I must say the design of the streets and the layout just makes getting everywhere so easy. Anyway, we got there and there was not enough water in the tank to do one load of dishes.
Oh dear, she didn't fill it up properly or didn't turn it on.
It was an air bubble, probably.
Oh, right. Yeah,
She
yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
full. She, oh, that was quick.
Yeah, no, you got to keep the hose in there till it starts overflowing out the thing, and then you know it's full when it's overflowing. Yep.
So there were four of us and no water.
Oh dear.
But,
Oh,
we survived and lived to tell the tale and had an absolutely amazing time. So even if you aren't a camper, do this. Get onto the Google. I'm going to get your tickets. If you haven't got time to get yourself organised this year, absolutely get on and get sorted annual leave, whatever you need to do to get there next year. Have you got a scoop for us who might be appearing next year, or is that still a
seven.
secret?
Look, we're working on it. We've got a few already locked in there. We start, like we start next year. We've started a few months ago next year, so we're well progressed. But all I can say is it's going to be another great lineup. But I
Yeah.
can't tell you.
Can I put my order in?
Absolutely. Put your
I
order.
think
Who do you want?
you better get Jimmy Barnes back.
Barnes, he hasn't been for a while. Yeah.
Tell him Cheryl Lee said.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All righty. I've got one more question for you. In these years, you've probably met so many artists. Now, have you met an artist that surprised you? Did someone really surprise you? Surprise you good? Surprise you bad?
Look, I maybe like last year we had Leo Sayer for the first time last year, and Leo Sayer, you think he's an old guy and whatever, but he's just such a bubbly, dynamic, excitable character. He loves what he's doing. He loves his. So to me, he was like, what a cool guy. He was. He wanted to go explore around one day. He wanted to go. I want to go into Silverton. He goes into Silverton and he's in the pub and meeting everybody in the pub, and then he goes, "Oh, can I go behind the bar and serve people beers?" So there he is. He stepped behind the bar and he becomes a bartender and he's serving people beers. So you get characters like that who, you never know. You never know. So yeah,
No.
but look, most of the, well, all the artists really are. They're all good people. We don't really, there's no prima
No
donnas,
divas?
no divas. Like most of these people have been around long enough. They're not, they're not. They know the drill, and they just enjoy what they're doing, and they're all good, easy people to get along with, and don't have, ridiculous riders or anything.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that you say that about Leo Sayer, because hubby and I had another first this year. We rode the Harley over to Bright for the Brighter Days Festival.
Oh yes,
That's
yep.
another fabulous Australian festival. So for the first time we went, and Leo was on the bill.
Yep.
And when he did his sound check, he was just chatting to the audience. He was having a great time, really engaging with us all watching the sound check. So I'm not surprised you say that.
Yeah, he's very friendly, very, very approachable, very bubbly, and he's funny. The first time I met him, actually, I was dressed up as Mad Max in all my Mad Max gear, and I was standing on the little side stage, doing a couple of things, getting organised for this Mad Max thing, and he walks up onto the side stage and he looks at me and goes, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" I go, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Greg." I said, "I'm the promoter." "Oh, this is your event." I said, "Yeah." He looks at me, he goes, and I've been like my gun, like all my stuff, and I was a full complete replica Mad Max uniform on. So
I love that. And you know what? Speaking of dressing up, so when I came, I interviewed a few of the artists. Can't remember now. Sarah McLeod, Furnace and the Fundamentals, Richard Clapton, Casey Barnes. I don't know, a couple of others. But I didn't want to miss out on any of the fun that was going on. So I interviewed Casey Barnes in my blue outfit, which was including a big blue wig. And then, and then I didn't do the interviews and then race around the front to get the show. And then he went to merch later to sign autographs with his fans. By then I changed, and he actually recognised me. He said, "Hello, Cheryl Lee." I thought, how could he recognise me? Because I'm not blue now.
Yeah, no, Casey's a lovely guy. He's a great guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I did another one dressed up. Was I dressed up as the duck?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
might have been my Mad Max. I can't remember now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to miss out on any of the fun. So,
Yeah.
you know. Was there anything else that you wanted to cover at all, Greg, that we haven't covered that you need me to edit back in there?
No, I think so. That was a really good sort of run through of everything. I think you covered everything really well. And obviously, yeah, you know your stuff. You know you're speaking from experience, so that's good. I think
Walk the talk, isn't that what they
walk the
say?
talk.
So, Greg, I imagine now that this is the event on the social calendar out there. I bet it means a lot to the local community, the local tourism sector.
Yeah, look, it's a huge driver of tourism, and not just in Broken Hill. Broken Hill's a huge beneficiary, but everywhere within, you draw a 500, 600, 700 kilometre radius, a circle around Broken Hill, and all of those towns and all of those tourism businesses and hospitality, people coming to the Bash generally will, try and make a week or two's holiday out of it, either taking extra time on the way there or back or both, and they visit a lot of places and spend their money. So all of those businesses in the wider region get huge benefits. I think Destination New South Wales estimate around $20 million is generated from extra spending off the back of the event. So, and Mundi Mundi's now effectively, it's the biggest event in Outback Australia. Has become the biggest event. So, yeah, it's a huge driver of tourism, and we're really proud that the difference it makes to all of those communities out there.
You should be very proud. You've built an amazing, not just an event, but an institution, dare I say. So congratulations to you on that. And I shall see you down the front perhaps next year. I'll give you a wave.
Give us a
I'll be the
wave,
one
yeah.
dressed up as Tina Turner.
Yep, you'll be on the punter barrier down the front there. Yep.
I'll be just one of the thousands
One of
of
the
Tina
Turners.
Turners.
Yeah. We got some new Tina stuff happening this year. I can't tell you too much, but yeah, we'll know in a week or so, hopefully. So yeah.
Yay. So stay tuned. Get
Stay
onto
tuned.
the www.mundimundibash.com.au. You can grab your tickets there as well. It's not too late.
Yeah. And if you're interested in following the event, yeah, you can sign up to our newsletter and on the website and keep up to date with all things Mundi Mundi.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for your time today and sharing all about, this great Australian institution, and all the best with this year's event and, going forward.
Thank you. Lovely to talk, Cheryl Lee. Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you. Awesome.
All righty. Have a great day.
No worries. Great to chat. We'll talk again.
I'll see you at Mundi.
See you on the red dirt.
Yeah. Bye for now.
See ya.
You're with Cheryl Lee, that radio chick. Thank you so much for joining me on the Still Rocking It podcast. Hope to catch you again next time. Get out when you can, support Aussie music, and I'll see you down the front.